91.5 WBIM presents the Saturday Night Soundtrack. Whoever you're with, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, don't stop. Just turn us up. Coming to you live from the campus of Bridgewater State University. We are your destination for commercial-free classic rock to power your night. Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, Van Halen, Aerosmith, Beatles, Eric Clapton, Pink Floyd, The Who, U2, AC/DC, Tom Petty, Allman Brothers, Ozzy, Neil Young, and hundreds more. Take us along wherever you go with the Livestream.com app in the iTunes and Google Play stores. So go get some food in the belly and gas in the tank as BSU's Alumni Saturday rocks on. The Saturday Night Soundtrack with Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, and Steve Rimmer begins now.
We're gonna blow your face out!
On Bridgewater's own 91.5 WBIM.
It is 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack's back for another week. Welcome to it. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer. The gang is all here.
Yeah, you're welcome to it.
You're welcome to it. Like us on Facebook, Saturday Night Soundtrack. You can follow us on Twitter at SN Soundtrack. Check us out on YouTube. All you got to do is search for Saturday Night Soundtrack. You filter for channels. We're the first thing that comes up there. All our old shows are up there in podcast form. So you can enjoy that. And lastly, Livestream. Livestream.com is a website, of course, and it's also a free app in the iTunes and Google Play stores. You check that out. You just search for WBIM. No buffering, no nothing. You can listen to us anywhere around the world or wherever you happen to be.
Well, unless you're from 7 countries.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Then you're not allowed to.
No, absolutely not. In that case, you're screwed.
Yeah, which, by the way, unless you're in the other 4 countries in which business is being transactioned in, then you could listen to us.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, in Saudi Arabia, it's fine, you know, even though like 9 of the 11 terrorists we've had attacking in America came from Saudi Arabia.
We're getting right into it, folks.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, you did? Oh, you didn't?
Does he have business concerns in Saudi Arabia, do you
Yes,
think?
he does.
Whoa,
look
what
at
a
that.
surprise.
Russian.
Oh, you didn't think we were a political show? Well, that'll show you, won't it?
We can be. We're also educational.
Absolutely. With a slant, but we're educational nonetheless.
Exactly.
Did you see and again, I'm not going to use names on this deal. Did you see the big row that went down between 2 of our mutual friends on Facebook within this past week?
Nah, which one?
Okay, so, well, again, I don't want to mention names, but there were 2 folks, one of which went to a march.
Oh, yes.
And the other of which felt the need to begin commenting on it.
Yes.
Which quickly broke down, as these things often do, until the person who started criticizing the person who went to the march in the first place said, "I'm sick of these things being thrust in my face."
Well, get off Facebook then.
Right, to which the other person then said, "Nobody asked you to read this. You could have just scrolled past it. I don't want to lose a friendship over this. How about you stop being a jerk?" was essentially what it was. I followed it for as long as I possibly could, and my wife was finally like, "It's time to go to bed. Can you please go to bed?" And I'm like, "I got to find out what's going on with this argument." She's like, "It will be there tomorrow."
Hang on a second.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Your wife has to tell you when to go to bed?
Well, yeah, because here's the deal: is she always wants to go to bed at 8 or 8:30? Well, I mean, if going to bed meant, you know, going to bed, I'd be cool with it. But she doesn't mean that. She means literally our heads are gonna hit the pillow and we're gonna be out
dream.
until 5 o'clock in the morning, and that's all that's going to happen. So at 8 o'clock at night, I'm still trying to follow this drama that was going on. And then she informed me, "Well, why don't you stop it? Because it's still going to be there tomorrow." Well, it wasn't there tomorrow because the friend that went to the march deleted the whole conversation by the next morning.
Wow.
Yeah. Comments and all. Yeah. You know it's serious when the whole thing gets deleted. And then the only thing I was wondering was any comment made that I didn't see that after the whole you could have just, I don't want to lose a friendship over this, Did anything happen after that then caused the entire deletion? I don't know.
I don't know.
But it was exciting.
Yeah, no.
It was exciting for a while, and then it was over. So,
Do you want me to sign some of those?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Oh man, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why no one's calling out that thing about the other 4 countries.
I don't know.
It's not enough.
Well, you know what? I don't know why a lot of people didn't call out a lot of things within the past year that could have prevented us from getting to this point. So
I think they did.
it just didn't do any
Yeah,
good.
no. Well, whatever.
Well,
Welcome to the Soviet Union.
Right.
Of the United
the
States.
system's rigged, quite literally, because apparently the Russian government hacked our stuff. But let's not worry about that. We're not concerned about that now, and it's not a big deal. If the other party had won and it had turned out that there had been some sort of a Russian involvement, holy crap! Oh my God, the litany of things that would be said about that for the next 4 years.
Emails, right? Like a bunch of people from this cabinet have private emails. They're on private servers, which was a whole thing.
Of course, emails.
I don't know.
That was a buzzword.
And now it's like, oh, well, now that we're in power, it doesn't matter.
Hey, it's 7:08 and we're already pissed off.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we good.
Hey, great.
Well, we're trying to get in the mood that we were at last week after being here for like 4 hours at this point.
Well, that's true.
So
It was literally
hit the floor running.
Was literally 4 hours at this point. Give us a call. Let us know what you want to hear. 508-531-1303. First big block of classic rock coming up. You got SNS on BIM.
If your bed is in a small town and that's good enough for you, you're one of the only listeners who can hear us on an actual radio. Congratulations. Bridgewater's Saturday Night Soundtrack with Rob Hicks on 91.5 WBIM.
That's AC/DC 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. SNS radio show, Simon and Garfunkel, and block before that. Couldn't get any different than those two bands if you tried. Jimmy Buffett, Rainbow, Elton John, and the Beatles all in that block. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer, and it was I read that there was an anniversary. I think it was either yesterday or today. It was the anniversary of the last show that Bon Scott ever played with AC/DC.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna have to take a look and see how many years it was, but I obviously know how many years it was, but I'm saying it's as far as the date, I don't remember if it was yesterday or today.
No. That's one of those moments in time where I still remember where I was when I heard of his death.
Where were you?
I was in the back of the car with my girlfriend. I thought he was
going to say in the bathroom first.
Yeah.
And then in the back of the car with my girlfriend was going to go in a different direction than it went. Continue.
Her parents were driving the car, so...
That didn't stop me before.
You kids are all crazy over there in Britain.
Yeah, we were going away for the weekend, so... Yep, I still remember. Okay, there you go. That was my story.
508-531-1303. Give us a call. Let us know what you want to hear. And speaking of celebrity deaths, Jared and I were talking about this in the car on the way up here. We've already had, there's been 3 within the past week that have been relatively notable.
Yeah, definitely.
Kicked off with Mr. Trucks from the Allman Brothers Band. You had Mary Tyler Moore, of course, and then also John Hurt. Was it yesterday or today that was John Hurt? Yesterday. And one of the things that I mentioned to Jared too was I said he mentioned, and with good reason, that people aren't really losing their minds over the celebrity deaths so far that have taken place in 2017. And I said it's one of those things where I feel like it's the age of the people that are going, and the fact that it's not something that was completely out of left field that people didn't expect. I mean, if somebody dies at 80 years old or 90 years old or whatever, that it's not a David Bowie type situation, especially where Bowie, nobody knew he was sick. It's not a Carrie Fisher type deal either, or one of those things. So I said, the Trucks from the Allman Brothers Band was a little bit, that was surprising. He was only 69, and I guess I read something yesterday that said that it was starting to look like suicide.
Oh, really?
Or at least that was something that they were starting to look into as a possibility. So we'll have to see how that unfolds. But Mary Tyler Moore was 80. John Hurt was 77. And that guy, John Hurt's, God love him, but he'd been looking like he was on his way out for years.
I was just reading about it here. It says, despite being given the all clear from cancer last year. So that's kind of sad that he gets the all clear and then drops dead.
Yeah, right.
But
do they know? Was it like a heart attack? Do they even know what he dropped dead from at this point?
They haven't even said it.
Okay.
At least on the report I'm reading.
I'm wondering if they were like, "Oh, it's all clear," and then there was some other complication from it that they didn't even know. I know nothing about medicine. I don't know how to say
he
stuff
actually
works.
died on Wednesday. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they just nice of them not to get around to telling us until now. Come on.
He did a incredible movie in British TV about a gay guy growing up in England in the 30s and 40s, called The Naked Civil Servant.
Yes.
Based on a real life guy called Quentin Crisp.
Yep.
And that was a phenomenal
He
part
was
to
a
play.
phenomenal actor.
Yeah, he was.
But again, like last year, it seemed like a lot of people were completely losing their pants over it. Like every guy. Oh my God, the prop manager of the Perry Mason TV show died.
Exactly.
What the hell, 2016.
Yeah.
Like now it's like,
and you were getting this impression from people just from other places, like because you don't go on Facebook anymore. Yeah. I was seeing it on Facebook. There's one specific person I'm friends with on Facebook, and he just it got to the point where within the last couple of months of 2016, anyone who died, he'd post it. He was 92, and he was the assistant grip on the, you know what I mean? It was like, what the hell, 2016? F you. It's like, well, you got to relax just a little bit.
Most of the biggies, most of the names of 2016, I recognized. So
yeah, but all right, like
they were big enough that I knew who they were.
Sure, but
Peggy Hall, you know, like all right, I get it that she was in the Perry Mason show.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. Like if she died in 2016, people would be losing their shirts over it.
Absolutely.
But now that it's like, I guess we have bigger worries about.
Yeah, exactly.
But
much
still,
bigger.
But like that, nobody's freaking out that John
I get it.
died. Nobody's like. Some people are kind of making a little bit of noise about Mary Tyler Moore, but it's again, if she had died last year.
Absolutely.
People would be losing their minds much more.
Yep.
You know,
I agree.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just strange.
It's the hysteria that 2016 started whipping people into, and I think it became a talking point, right? People were just at the point where they wanted anything that they could blame on 2016 deaths. Let's throw this on top of the pile. They were doing it.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point where it was like, okay, that's a 93-year-old jazz musician that nobody's ever heard of. You can calm down. I don't think this was 2016's fault. I guess it is. He was 93. It was going to happen sooner or later. It was bound. It was on its way.
I'm waiting for some other ones though. I'm still predicting the Bushes are going to go. This time.
One of them's already out of the hospital though. Yeah.
Both of them are out.
And the Queen,
they're both out.
Yeah.
The Queen and Philip didn't go, so
Yeah.
I think I asked about that last week or relatively recently, and you were like, "Oh, she's better," and I was like, "Oh, really?" And I sounded all disappointed about it.
Oh man, I wanted her to die.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
What the hell, 2017? Oh, she's still alive. Come on.
Would they even do like with another monarch person?
Are they what?
Would they be like, all right, now we need to have one of the Diana's kids as a king?
You want to know a fact? Every single British person is in line to the throne in one way or the other.
Well, that I know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, so when the queen goes, are they going to bother with doing, like, all right, no, we're going to have another ceremony for a king or a queen?
Of course they are. They have to crown them.
Do they, though?
Of course they do.
Because it's all over there like a democracy now.
No,
but they still have it's a democracy, yes, but they still have the monarchy in place. Yeah, so they're still going to go through the pomp and circumstance regardless.
Yeah. They have to.
Oh, all right.
They're not king or queen.
But it's all for show, basically, right?
That's what I mean. It's only like a show. It's only like a show type of thing.
Right.
They don't really have.
But they're going to do it.
Well, I mean,
they don't really have what?
They don't really have the power anymore.
Every single law that gets passed in Britain has to be signed by the king or queen.
There you go.
Now wait a second.
Every single one.
Let's pump the brakes here. Wait a second. Who's growling with the food? All right.
No, not that she would ever likely not sign something that comes to her from Parliament, but it doesn't get put into law unless it has the Queen's signature on it.
Because I remember reading back during the whole Brexit thing, she was like, "This is stupid."
She can't refuse, though. It's heraldry. She just wouldn't be able to. You know, it's there though. The fact is that she could if she wanted to, but so she has no balls. No, it's not a matter of that. It's the way that the royalty works in modern times.
Oh, I mean,
it sounds...
anatomically, no, I believe she does not.
Yeah, well, she doesn't.
No, but I mean, like, in the sense of, like, if everybody's going to, like, back in the olden days, right, if it was, like, Parliament saying to the king, you know, we want to do this, and the king says, F you, I'm the king. This is the law.
Yeah.
But, think about how it's going to work in this country
exactly.
at this point.
Yeah.
Well,
we're basically at that point.
We're going that way. But my thing is like, if the queen didn't like it, and if she's supposed to have all this sort of, like, omnipresent power, then...
there's a long history to the way the monarchy is changed over the years in the way that they work with the government over there. So
see that
it's just that it's still in existence. That if she wanted to just say no, I'm not going to sign it, she has every right to do so.
But then she doesn't when she doesn't agree with things.
No.
Like, I don't agree with Brexit, but I'm just going to sign away anyway because what else am I going to do?
Yep, that's what I mean.
I don't know. If I was English, I would be pissed.
Why do you think I don't like the monarchy, for Christ?
No, I mean, meaning that, like, I would want them...
What do you think my damn problem is?
Meaning that, like, I think, like, the monarchy should be more present. Like,
no, you don't want those nut jobs dealing with politics.
Well, I mean,
imagine Prince Charles. Oh my God, that guy's an idiot.
You don't want those nut jobs dealing with politics. They just sign every damn thing that goes into law. That's all.
Oh, wait a minute. That's what's happening here in America now.
Right. Oh, it all comes full circle.
Well, I'm just saying.
240 years we tried to get away from this, and here's where we are. So
we're right back to square one.
Great.
Yeah, now we're going to start taxing. The Mexican government.
Oh, God.
Like,
I don't even want to get into
like
this.
the American government was taxed by Britain.
Yeah.
What did you guys do?
Yep. Yeah, let's get into this in another segment because oh, my God.
All right.
Here's another block of classic rock before we get all whipped into a frenzy again. Van Halen, Scorpions, and Bruce Springsteen all coming up. You got SNS on BIM.
So, you just spent hours putting together the perfect classic rock playlist?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's so cute. This Saturday night soundtrack with Rob Hicks on 91.5 WBIM.
That's Bob Seger, 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday night soundtrack, Downtown Train. That was a single that was originally released by Tom Waits. It was from his 1985 Rain Dogs album. Bob Seger had recorded, he did his cover of that. That was actually from 1989. And he was going to release it, but then Rod Stewart did a cover of it himself and released it, and it was just too close together. He decided not to put it out at that point. It eventually came out on Seger's 2011 Ultimate Hits Rock and Roll Never Forgets collection. Temple of the Dog was before that. Bruce Springsteen, Scorpions, Van Halen, all in that block. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer, and Food. So thank you for Campus Pizza. And
it feels nice and warm today.
Oh, good.
Yes.
That would be contrary to last week then.
Yeah.
So I was just taking a look at I had to smell Steve's stuff earlier during this last block because he's got that book in there of the paper planes that you can put together, and the pages smell delicious. I don't know what it is about them. It's almost that smell that you get. Like, don't look at me like I'm insane. You know what I'm talking about. Smell.
I'm just saying that
smell his pages.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, it smells great. He brought it, so he brings it in to show it to me, and he's explaining about how he makes these paper planes and how they're fun and how it works and everything, and I just lean over and I go, and I'm just smelling it.
And
Steve's
the
just like,
you would expect.
Steve's like, you all right, sir? I'm like, okay, I'm just smelling your pages here. Give us a call, 508-531-1303. Let us know what you want to hear. It's Classic Rock until 11 o'clock, so get anything on in that vein that you want. You can like us on Facebook, Saturday Night Soundtrack. You can follow us on Twitter at SN Soundtrack. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel. Search for Saturday Night Soundtrack, filter for channels. We're the first thing that comes up there. All our podcasts are there. And last but not least, Livestream. Livestream.com is a website and a free app in the iTunes and Google Play stores. You can search for WBIM there as well. And you can listen to us from anywhere.
And it is working
no
today.
Buffering, no nothing. It's working great.
It's working, I checked.
And we're 180 watts. So if you want to listen to us anywhere other than Bridgewater, you're gonna want to do that.
I picked it up a little bit further away today.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Jared and I started listening wherever at the Walmart on 106.
Okay.
We hadn't tried to listen to it earlier than that. We had just turned it on at that point.
Yeah.
Because we were trying to determine if we needed to maybe pick up the pace and get in here a little bit earlier. And then it turned out that was not the case. So we just took our time, and we enjoyed a good fat guy field trip. By the way.
Oh yeah.
So we stopped at Cumbies like we always do to get the usual provisions. And then, I picked up a king-size payday because, I need that, and I'm fat. So as we're on the way out of the store, Jared goes, I'm a little disappointed. And I said, well, why? And he said, I was hoping that they were going to have some of those Oreo Cadbury egg deals.
Yes.
That I've been seeing all over the place. And then he was like, do you think we have time to go to Walmart across the street and check it out? And I was like, well, yeah, we're obnoxiously early. This is at like 5:15, by the way.
Oh, God.
I was like, well, we're obnoxiously early, so yes, I think it's entirely possible we could head over there. So we go across the street, and we go in the Walmart, and we're looking all around. I'm used to the Walmart in Plymouth. I have no idea where anything is in any other one. So we're looking all around. Jared manages to flag down an employee who has her coat on, but still he feels the need to just...
No, I didn't flag her down. She saw that we were
wandering about,
and then she offered her help.
Oh, okay.
And then that's why
I thought you flagged her down.
No. I was like, I'm sorry that you're helping us when you're off the clock. She goes, I don't care.
He was like, well, where's the candy aisle? And I said, she's probably looking at us two rotund gentlemen and going, why don't you try the salad aisle? Perhaps that would be better for you. Be like, no, we're two nerdy
Portly
fat guys in our 30s, and we need candy before we go do our college radio show. So we checked out the aisle, but unfortunately they didn't have it. We looked at seasonal, we looked at candy. No dice.
They did have it's Valentine's coming.
Yeah, no, I know.
The Walmart by my office in Avon actually has Easter stuff out already.
They did have the actual bar, like that bar that Jared brought in that one time. They did have that in both a reasonable size and the size that he brought in.
Yeah.
I almost purchased that, but then I decided to refrain. I had it in my hand, and then I thought to myself, and I was like, you don't need it, sir. How about you just relax? Yeah. And then I put it back like a responsible adult, and we left the store. Yeah. So the thing that was, do we even know what was going on when we came in here, by the way? Is that all wrapping up already?
It's wrapping up. There's still some lingerers, some I don't know, loiterers.
There's lingering in the air of the corridor as well.
Yeah.
If we still had Mikey D around, he'd be able to tell us exactly what's going on.
It's a sorority ding.
It's some sort of sorority deal, and they got all the perfumes commingling in there.
Yeah.
No, but I asked when I was on my way.
Oh, okay. There you asked.
I asked. I was like, what are you guys doing? I need to know.
What is happening? What is going on?
Anytime there's a bunch of women...
Do you need any help?
Conjugating together, I need to know.
There's three of us. We can lift things for you.
There's more of us in here than there are of them out there.
What are we lifting, sir?
I don't care.
I don't care.
I'll lift anything you want me to lift.
Whatever's necessary.
Yeah.
You need us to carry you down the stairs. No, wait, those stairs are really warm.
Yes.
I don't think... I'm out of breath just going up and down the stairs myself.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't necessarily know that I can help anybody else in that capacity.
No.
I like it better when these events go on until 11 o'clock at least, because then I know that the building people here aren't going to harass us to get the hell out.
Yeah.
Because then
They've been pretty cool this time.
No, they have been.
Yeah. Until they come in, listen,
yeah,
you non-Christians.
My absolute, one of my favorites was last week when, by the way, More Than Words goes on longer than I ever realized it goes on. I thought that song was over 3 times last week. And, of course, I was playing it by request, so it wasn't something I had prepared to play. And I'm listening to it, and I keep going to hit a button, and I'm like, oh, there's still a minute and a half to go. Jesus, how is this even still possible? And, More Than Words. And then it starts to fade, and then he's like, ooh, more than words. I'm like, oh my God, how is it still happening? Jared's standing there with his coat on. The guy running the building's like standing out in the hall waiting for us. Sweat.
You guys are waiting on More Than Words.
Sweat on the neck is starting to form. You know.
Any other song in the universe, you'd have to wait.
We're doing this. We're actually doing this, huh? It's actually going on.
This is why Trump won.
This is exactly the case. Oh yeah, I gotta eat my food. So
anyway, we gotta go.
Another big block of classic rock coming up. Got the Doors, Fleetwood Mac, and Genesis all on deck. You got SNS on BIM.
The Saturday night soundtrack with Rob Hicks is on 91.5 WBIM. Bridgewater's weekend all request classic rock experience.
The Mamas and the Papas, 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. SNS radio show. Dire Straits before that. Guns N' Roses, Genesis. Fleetwood Mac and the Doors all in that block. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer coming up on 8:35.
Can I wake up now?
You know, sir. Call us up 508-531-1303. Let us know what you want to hear. Classic rock until 11 o'clock so we can get anything on that you want. Again, you can like us on Facebook, Saturday Night Soundtrack, and follow us on Twitter at SN Soundtrack. Don't forget about YouTube. Search for Saturday Night Soundtrack. You filter for channels where the first thing that comes up there. All our podcasts are there. And live stream, which Steve has confirmed is working perfectly. Livestream.com. It's a website and a free app in the iTunes and Google Play stores. You search for WBIM there, and you can listen to us from anywhere.
Anywhere. Except for Russia.
Yeah. Well, we don't know that at this point. You probably still could listen to us in Russia for the time being. Actually, no, you probably could listen to us in Russia for all time because we're like best friends with Russia now. Russia's great. Everybody loves Russia. Russia. It's just fantastic.
It's a good time.
It's the best time.
Yep. Now, Did you hear about the apocalypse clock?
Yes, the doomsday clock that they moved another 30 seconds to midnight.
Yeah, and I think the one other time that it's been this close to midnight was in 1953.
It was the 50s and sometime.
When we were doing nuclear tests and Russia was.
Yeah, that's great, huh? That's great. That's a great record to tie.
Absolutely.
Woohoo. Woo freaking who. Mm-hmm. This is what y'all wanted. Congratulations. Soaking it. And everybody's the whole world's in a tizzy now because nobody knows what the hell to do at the airports and everything with the new. So Trump signed the whole ban deal on Friday, right?
Yeah.
And now everybody, you've got refugees that are trying to come in. The visas that they have no longer guarantee them that they can come back into the country.
If something happened and I had to go back home for whatever reason right now,
right?
I couldn't guarantee that I could get back into the country right now.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
That's exactly the problem. Mm-hmm. And that makes absolutely no friggin' sense in the world. Yep. This is not the way to... This isn't going to solve any kind of a problem. All this is doing is opening up a whole bunch of new ones.
Of course it is.
And nobody knows what to do. And the thing is like... If you wanted to... If you want to put this moronic policy into place, which is absolutely ridiculous to begin with, but if you want to do it, you might want to find... maybe a more seamless way of doing it. You might want to sign a few smaller orders that sort of like, you know what I mean, like build up to the big order.
Test the waters.
Test the waters, figure out how everything works. Here's an idea. Maybe you could work with the airports and the security personnel and all the people right now who are completely befuddled and have absolutely no idea what to do. Maybe you could sort of coach them a little bit or have agencies that coach them as you move forward to try to do things. He's literally trying to cash in on every single campaign promise he made overnight. Mm-hmm. And it's just making everything worse. It's making everything far worse than everybody thought it was going to be. Oh, now we're going to, you know what? We're going to tax 20% on Mexican goods. That's fantastic until you go to buy a head of lettuce and it's $7 at the supermarket because everything you get is imported from goddamn Mexico.
That's why,
I don't know if people realize this.
That's why we end up paying for the wall twice.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's ludicrous, and it makes absolutely no sense. And I don't understand why more people aren't up in arms about this. I know people are, but there does not seem to be enough of them.
Yeah, if you like avocados, tough.
Exactly.
Nobody likes avocados.
I love avocados. You speak for yourself, sir. You shut your mouth.
Like the minute you open that, you have 30 seconds to eat it before
that is true.
It starts.
That is absolutely true. I'll give you that.
Before it starts giving up on life.
Since all this started going on about, because I work in the supermarket environment, you wouldn't believe the amount of stuff that we buy in supermarkets that comes from Mexico. It's absolutely incredible.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I say, oh, really, but that's not a surprise to me. Mm-hmm. There's so much stuff. I mean, all you have to do is look at labels, and I don't even just mean on processed foods. I mean, look at labels on any sort of packaged, if you've got packaged produce of any sort, take a look at where it's coming from, because I guarantee you, chances are, it's probably coming from Mexico or someplace that's not here that may be affected by this ban soon enough.
If it's not made of plastic, it's coming from Mexico.
So you're going to either have an issue with paying 20% tax on the whole stupid thing because it's actually coming directly from Mexico, or you're going to end up somehow paying more money because it's going to come from some place that's banned from something, and then there's just going to be a whole bunch of disaster. It's just
the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to see I want to see all these Republicans are said to give them a chance. I want to see all these Republicans dishing into their own pockets and saying how great it is that everything's going up 3 times the goddamn price because we can't get anything that doesn't come from Mexico that we don't have to pay 20% on top of.
Well, the funny thing about it is like those the Republicans that you're talking about, they most likely own the corporations that have the factories out there.
Well, I'm not talking about those Republicans. I'm talking about I mean like Republicans, like our friends, like people we're friends with who are inexplicably Republican and just, they're in lockstep with this guy.
Our comrades.
Yeah, exactly. Well, give him a chance. Give him a chance. He apologized for everything that he said. Water under the bridge. Let's move forward as a country. Give him a chance.
No.
BS.
Yeah. Oh, I call foul when it turned out that his team has private servers.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of places to call foul.
Yeah, but I mean, that right there, that should make those guys shut up, because then those guys were the same guys complaining about Hillary's personal servers, and then, she can't have that, that's illegal, and then it turns out that their people have the same thing, and then all of a sudden it's, it's okay.
This whole thing's just full of hypocrisy. It really
absolutely.
We're dead. We're dying.
Stay that way.
I should have just hung myself days ago.
It just.
Well, I was really sad to say that the first meeting he had with the foreign leaders just happened to be the British Prime Minister.
Yeah.
That was sad.
Yeah, she was
But
like,
I can understand her reasoning for it. But
And then in the meantime, the Mexican president's like, F this, I'm not having a meeting with this clown.
yeah.
No. What do you mean? We're going to pay for it? Right.
Yeah, right.
Right, okay.
No, they said from the beginning they're not paying for it.
Yeah.
There's no reason they would pay for it.
Yeah, there's no negotiation anywhere
Right.
where he's like, yeah, well, I'll pay for the wall. Okay.
Correct.
That's racist and stupid.
Yes.
The wall's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life anyway.
You know what's going to happen, though?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what I want to see happen?
Yeah.
I want him to see, like, because they said that they're agreeing not to talk about the wall in public anymore, right? They're going to stop talking about the wall in public, in the public forum. That's what they said, supposedly. So what I want to see in the next 3 to 4 months happen is that he comes out and says, all right, we hashed out the deal. They're paying for the wall. We're getting it built. It's going to be the best wall you've ever seen.
Believe me.
Believe me, right? But then all the while, this Pena guy comes out and goes, we did not agree to the wall. And then him going, alternative facts.
We gave alternative facts to that.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Are you serious right now?
It's news talk, and that's the way it is.
They got blonde Skeletor out there talking about alternative facts. Are you serious?
Oh, we're screwed.
Oh, my God.
I want, I'm not going to say that over
It's
radio.
just newspeak.
No,
What were we going to say?
No, nothing. I'm going to keep it away. I'll tell you guys off the radio.
Ah, that's not as much fun, sir. I'm not going to lie to you. It makes me sweat a little bit, but at the same time, it's not as much fun.
Well, I just feel like it's in the best interest of my Americanness. So.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Hey, another big block of classic rock coming up from your bleak friends here.
Yep.
At 91.5 WBIM.
We are awesome.
You got David Bowie, John Cougar, and the Traveling Wilburys all coming up next.
Bridgewater's Saturday Night Soundtrack with Rob Hicks is all request. Call 508-531-1303. The classic is our parts. What we rock is up to you.
It's Blue Oyster called 91.5 WBI in Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack, Counting Crows, or before that, Traveling Wilburys, John Mellencamp, David Bowie all in that block, Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer just after 9. Got a text from my wife during that last block that said, I'm getting duck. And I read that wrong for a second. And then I was like, oh, duck. Gotcha. She likes ducks.
So my friend at work, we got talking about John Cougar.
Yes.
And she goes, oh, my husband hates him. He calls him John Cougar menstrual cramp. I like that.
And even though I like him, I now will also call him John Cougar Menstrual Cramp. The song that we played, I Need a Lover, actually came from his Johnny Cougar days.
There you go.
It was off his album, Nothing Wrong With It, or What If I Did, or something like that. It's some dumb name that the record company came up with. They get slapped on the record. And it was back in the Johnny Cougar days, but I mean, that stuff was good too. Give us a call, 508-531-1303. Let us know what you want to hear. And all the usual places you can find us, Facebook, Twitter, Saturday Night Soundtrack. Look for us all there.
You notice a deficit this week?
No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, no, I do. I do. Speaking of wife texts, by the way, Steve, you and I are married.
Hey, not to each other.
No, we hasten to point out. Not that there's anything wrong with that, except for the fact that, well, Donald Trump may think so.
Yes.
And, we'll see if anything gets changed on that soon enough. So here's the question. Does your wardrobe ever get questioned when you're going out with your wife?
I don't go out with her if I can help it.
Okay, so if you are ever heading out together in the same vehicle and going to the same location, does she ever offer any sort of a critique on the wardrobe that you have chosen?
She has in the past, but she hasn't recently.
Okay, so here was my situation. So the other night and it was one of those things where I'd been working from home all day, so I basically had jeans on and I had like a hoodie, the same hoodie that's over there on the chair. I had that on. I'd just been wearing the thing all day. And so when she came home, we really didn't have anything in the fridge for dinner, so we decided, well, why don't we go out? So, okay. So I figure, in my man mind, I just need to put my shoes on.
Exactly.
Done. I've already got a sweatshirt on. I'm good. I will grab my coat on the way out. Shoes is all I need. So I grab my shoes, I put them on, and here's the part that gets me, right? It's not so much that she has a critique to offer on the clothes that I'm wearing. It's the time that she chooses to do it and the words that she uses. We're on our way out the door. I have just begun to set the alarm. She looks at me and goes, "Is that what you're wearing?"
You were probably wearing it as you were walking
right
towards that alarm.
During that whole period of time, she could have asked me that question. Secondly, what am I supposed to say? No, I just figured I'd wait until you noticed. No, I thought I would wear this to the door and then go back into the house and change my clothes. Of course I'm going to. This is what I was wearing. What are you, nuts? But, that obviously means that she would like me to go and change my clothes.
What did she take umbrage to?
The fact that I was wearing a sweatshirt.
Oh. But you were going to put a coat on. Yeah?
I understand that, but when we get to the restaurant, then I'm going to take the coat back off. So her umbrage was with the fact that when I take the coat back off, I'm going to just be wearing a hoodie instead of, like a pullover or a nicer shirt or something to that effect. Well, we're probably just going to the sushi place 2 exits down, or we're going to like Bertucci's or some crap. We're not going any place that fancy. Why don't you calm down? I've been wearing the same clothes all day. I don't necessarily feel like
your mistake right there.
Putting on a whole.
Calm down.
I don't feel like putting on a whole different outfit just to go out to one of those places where nobody's going to recognize us anyway. Yeah. Oh, the joke was on her. There was one night when we decided to go out. Same kind of situation, and I just ran out in a hurry, and I had 2 different colored shoes on.
Oh, yes.
And I didn't notice. One was, the good thing was, they were both loafers, and they were both dark. One was a dark brown, and one was black. So chances are nobody was going to really notice, but the great thing was I happened to notice in my driveway because she already had her car started. So as I was walking towards it in the headlights, I could see them. And at that point, even in our own driveway, I was like, I've come too far at this point. Screw it. I'm not going back in the house because then I get all sorts of things I got to unlock the door. I got to find the right shoes. I got to put them on. I got to come back out. No, how was it? I'm just going to go.
Now, the only thing that she's ever taken umbrage about me trying to wear when we went out
was your titties and beard t-shirt.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, really? Yes. That was a wild guess on that one, sir.
That's the only thing that said no to.
Did you fight that, or did you just go along with it and go, well, yes, I guess that's pretty ridiculous. Let me change, wife.
I just ran along with it. It's no point in fighting.
No, there really isn't. Except that I still try sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, I try, and then I smack myself in the head for even thinking it's worthwhile.
I still offer some kind of wise-ass answer, like, well, yeah, clearly this is what I'm going to wear because it's what I'm wearing. Well, you look like a bum. Oh, okay.
I'm not modeling this for you to figure out, man.
No, you have to.
This was not an option. It's not a fashion show.
Yeah. No, you have to have some sort of comeback, but you're going to lose in the end.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't know I needed permission to be an adult.
I think the argument was that I didn't look like an adult, but I don't care. I'd been in the house all day. I'd been working from home. Nobody's seeing me.
Now, was this an out of the blue request? Like, hey, let's go get some food.
I mean, I sort of. Well, no. This was 6 o'clock at night. She had just come home from work. I had an inkling that we were potentially going to go out because I knew we had no food in the house. I knew I hadn't bought anything. I was busy working all day. I hadn't bought anything. I hadn't cooked anything. We had nothing in the house to cook. So chances were we were probably going to have to go somewhere. To your point, sir, I probably should have anticipated it, but there was no anticipating this. So I just figured that it was fine enough for wherever we were going to potentially go, and that was about it. That's all I wanted to deal with.
Yeah, no.
Nope. Got a surprise for you.
Like, well, I could be going commando. Could be worse.
Who says I wasn't?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. Like, there's worse options that you could be. Well, you know, next time she says that, next time she says, "Is that what you're gonna wear?" You're like, "Well, all right, I guess I'll change." You go back upstairs, and you come down the stairs changed in a banana outfit.
Oh, in your underwear.
Like, here you go. This is what I'm wearing. I'm going to wear a banana outfit.
Do you guys want me to remain married?
Does he actually own a banana outfit now?
I'm sure I can find one.
Yeah.
My wife probably bought one at some point. It's probably hanging in her closet somewhere. She buys so many goddamn things that I never see until all of a sudden she puts it on. I go, is that new? No, it's not new. Of course it is.
I bought it.
I've had it for ages.
I've had it for ages. How long is ages? This afternoon?
It just fits me now.
Right. Uh-huh. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
That's something I would do.
I went
come down in a banana outfit.
I went into her closet to put some sweatshirts away yesterday, and I saw, like, she's got bags of things that have not been unbagged.
Oh.
It's ridiculous. Can you imagine if she, we talked about this last week, but let me go on again. Can you imagine if she went into my closet and there were bags of Blu-rays that had not been unpacked?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you did.
She wigs out if she just happens to see a few new Blu-rays on the shelf. When did you get this? I don't know. When did you get that dress? When did you get that sweater?
Do you ever go that direction?
You want to do this?
Do you ever go in that direction?
No.
You should.
Value my life, sir.
Just try it out.
No, because she's gonna hold me to some particulars and be like, well, which one? And then I'm not gonna know which one. I don't know what to point out. I know it when it's like pornography. I know it when I see it. Mm-hmm. Well, other than that, I don't know what's new and what's not. I don't know what I take umbrage with, as Steve would say.
Go fishing through that bag, pull something out, and be like, okay, that's in my memory now. Put it on the top, because then she'll just select that one, and then she puts it on, and then you just happen to have a new box set on the shelf, and then she'll be like, what's that? And you're like, I don't know, what's that you're wearing?
You can even take photographic evidence of the bags.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to.
You'd be like, oh, hang on, let me just search on my phone.
Wait,
what's this?
No, not that one. Not that one. Nope. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. But you know what? Never mind. I've had that Blu-ray for ages. Let's go.
How about that as a rebuttal?
I've done that.
How does that work?
Yeah. Sometimes she either knows I'm full of crap. Sometimes I actually have had it for ages, but just didn't mention it at the time. And then sometimes she just lets it go.
See, I couldn't go with that because, like, for me, I get too excited when I buy a new film.
Right.
Like, oh, now I have to watch this immediately. And there just wouldn't be a situation where I'd be like, oh, where did this come from? I had that for ages. That's a lie because I know that you would watch the film immediately. And so you didn't have that age. That's why I can't. I don't know.
See, I tend to collect things, and then I put them on the shelf, and I'm like, because I see it in the store, I'm like, this is great. I need this. This is fantastic. This rounds out the blah, blah, blah collection. I'm going to get this. It goes on the shelf, and then I did. Weeks, if not months, go by, and I legitimately could not watch it for weeks or months sometimes.
It's good to know that my gift is. Oh, yeah?
I can, yeah.
Yeah. I do it for books,
I buy so many at a time.
Yeah. No, I've watched your gift already, sir. So, and thank you again for the gift that I did not reciprocate.
February 13th.
In any way. And February 12th is is that the show that you're not going to be at? Or that's the show you'll be at that one, right?
Yeah, I won't be at the 4th.
Okay. So next week.
Yeah.
Steve, we're alone next week.
All right.
Show me the meaning.
All right, so Jared's singing, so let's get on with this.
I think it's next week. I'm off on the Saturday. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Interesting. Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful. Guten Haven.
Another block of classic rock coming up. It's so random, sir.
Oh, purple underwear.
I don't even understand you sometimes. Van Morrison, Pretenders.
Banana suit?
Banana suits.
Yeah. And John Lennon. All coming up in the next block. You get SNS on BIS.
Hitting the bars or hitting the books. We'll make your night rock with Rob Hicks and Bridgewater's Saturday Night Soundtrack on 91.5 WBIM.
It's David Sylvian and Robert Tripp on 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. SNS Radio Show. That one was courtesy of Steve Rimmer. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, it sounded good still.
And Jean the Birdman. And because I'm an American, I looked at your note and I looked at the track at first and I was like, oh, Gene the Birdman. Sure, we'll play that next.
Yes,
and then I listened to it and I was like, oh, kind of glad I played this before announcing it because I would have sounded like a buffoon.
Now, you see, there's a guy that I work with and he's from Haiti or somewhere like that. And his name on his badge is Gene.
Sure.
So I've been calling him Jean. Mm-hmm. But no, his name is actually Gene.
So now you just sound like a pompous ass.
Exactly.
Hey, Jean. This guy again. Holy mackerel. Yes. Can he get my name right just once? My name is the same as your wife's. Can you maybe remember that? Maybe you can get that straightened out. Yeah. Give us a call, 508-531-1303. It's Classic Rock until 11 o'clock. We'll do anything you want. Like us on Facebook, Saturday Night Soundtrack. We picked up a new like on Facebook, as a matter of fact, tonight, actually. And I was kind of surprised by that. I have no idea who it is either, so it's completely random, which is good. Nice. Once again, I tend to put more faith and stock into the follows that we get on Facebook as opposed to the ones that we get on Twitter, which tend to be just garbage. Yeah. We still only have 12 followers on Twitter, and I think most of them are junk.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I don't care. We lost Ken Calais a long time back, sometime over the break, I think. He decided apparently that this was not for him. So I don't know what would ever make him think that, but apparently that was the case.
Yeah.
I got to say that I enjoyed the the commute into the station tonight a lot more than I enjoyed it last week.
Because I picked him up.
Yeah, it's, it makes it, I mean, I'm not getting all mushy and all that crap, but it makes a difference coming in with Jared and being able to talk to him, not on the air and everything like that, because I don't really talk to him that much when we're in here doing the show.
Nope.
Because he's in there with you and I'm in here doing my thing. So, I mean, we get together and we do the show and all that, but I don't really talk to him. So our trip in and our trip out is usually the opportunity when I get to catch up with him and find out what's going on in his life. Usually most of what we talk about is his work, but that's fine because I'm interested and there's exciting things going on and I want to know all about them. You know what I mean?
How long a commute do you guys have?
It's only like 25 minutes probably.
It's the same
when I'm driving, it's about 25 minutes.
Right. Yeah. And made even, I mean, it's 25 minutes, and I think that even includes the stop that we make at Cumbies along the way.
Oh, yeah.
So you're talking, on the road, maybe 20 minutes tops.
Okay.
So not a big deal.
No.
But especially today when we got here super early, and then we pulled into the parking lot here. It was about 5:45, and I said, you realize that we're like 15 minutes away from even just getting a message from Steve saying I'm just leaving. Yeah. So we're probably going to be here for a bit.
Which we didn't even get.
No, we didn't even get one. No, Steve was like, you know what? Those suckers can figure out when I get there. Yeah. I'll get there when I get there. It's none of your business when I leave.
I had one of those moments with the wife, though. She mentioned...
Can we talk about this on the air?
Yeah. Good. No, we got all our WTs and all the tax stuff ready now.
Okay,
so
yep.
Our accountant happens to be out of West Bridgewater.
Yep.
So, of course, she says to me, you're going to go to Bridgewater on Saturday. Could you drop these off before the show? And I'm like, no. I have it nicely planned out that I try and time it so I'm getting to the parking lot at the same time as you two guys. And if I'm going elsewhere ahead of time, I can't work out the timeline there. I don't want to be burdened with that.
Did you say all of that out loud?
No.
Okay.
I just said no. I said because I've got it set the way I deal with getting to the show, and I don't want to mess it up. So yeah.
There you go.
But I mean, we're going. The next day we're going to frigging Plymouth. We can go through Bridgewater on the way to Plymouth. She doesn't understand that.
Well, that's true.
So that's what I said. We'll drop them off tomorrow.
No, she does. She just doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to be anywhere near it. She wants you to do it. That's the difference.
She's like, no, I've got tomorrow all worked out that I want to drive all the way through Bridgewater and get to Plymouth at a particular time. I don't want to be burdened with having to stop off in friggin' Bridgewater to do this junk.
Then again, these are my 2 days off. Last week I was hauling furniture, This week she goes, why don't you go and spend that gift certificate I got for you for the record store in Plymouth? And I'm like, what a great idea. But now it's being molded, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're dropping off, we're going back to my daughter's on the way back for some reason whatsoever. So it's like, you get no say in what you're doing.
You gotta, and the thing is, it's almost like it's a gathering storm, right? Like you see, Steve, you and I are married. So you see it coming, right?
Oh, yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it, but you see it approaching.
Yeah, exactly.
We're driving home from from dinner last night, right? And,
just with you wearing the wrong clothes?
No. I was... Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's what, yes, it was.
Okay.
So, driving home from dinner last night, and my wife said, she's like, those cross-trainer machines? I'm like, yeah.
Oh, God.
She's like, those are like $2,000? I'm like, well, that's too expensive. She's like, yeah, I mean, I've seen, the cheaper ones at like Savers and whatnot, but those don't look too steady. And I thought it might be good, but I mean, that's a lot. And I'm like, oh, God. She's laying groundwork. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm earmarked for that TV woman. I've been waiting 2 years now. We remodeled the whole damn basement just so that I could get the new TV. That's happening this year. There's no way that is not happening this year.
It's not happening.
Damn it. No, it's happening. It is happening. I'm going to make sure that it happens. This cross-trainer thing, back burner. That can be put on the back burner. That could be a next year thing. This year is my year. It's my year to get what I wanted. Except, of course, I'm saying all this in the meantime, on a day when I realized that my driver's side door on my truck might be off its hinges.
Oh, gosh.
Because it was always kind of sticking, and I thought that I was like, well, I might need to just lube my thing. I might need to just get some lube. I might need to grease it up, get it a little wet. You know what I mean? And then because that tends to be the problem. I screw, I squirt some.
You screw what?
Squirt some.
Oh God.
some WD-40 on there, and usually it's good, and I've done that a couple of times. And this time it's been sticking, and I've I just haven't had time, or every time I think about it, the WD-40's in the house, and I'm like, screw it. So I've been doing, that with the door a couple of times, and then today I did it once at the dump. And then since I did that, it hasn't been lining up right. Like, I have to slam my driver's side door to get it to close.
Well, just get in from the passenger side.
I understand that, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Things are coming up, and the evidence is stacking up against me that I'm going to need another vehicle at some point. The only reason why I think, maybe I could do it this year is that the only thing we have that I know about earmarked for, the money from my bonus on our taxes is the TV. That's the only thing I'm aware of. She might be aware of other things. But then I'm thinking to myself, all I really need is a down payment, because I'm not going to pay out of pocket for a car. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get enough money for a decent down payment that my payments aren't outrageous, and then I would just have a car payment for the next 5 or 6 years. Yeah. Or however it works. But then I got to get used to having a car payment again and all that stuff. And now she's bringing up this cross-trainer crap. No. This year, TV is all I'm saying. No, it's happening.
It's not happening.
It's happening. Sir, this marriage thing is great. You got to get on it.
Yeah, it's fun.
No.
You don't know what you're missing.
I think I do. It's called independence.
Well, we're all going to be missing that with Trump as president anyway, so what's the difference? You're not going to notice. It'll all be fine. Another big block of classic rock coming up. We got Jackson Browne and two Billies, Billy Idol and Billy Joel, all coming up next. You got SNS on BIM.
Call in your classic rock request now at 508-531-1303. If you don't, Rob Hicks will play a half an hour of Bruce Hornsby.
That's just the way it is.
This is your chance to save the town of Bridgewater. 91.5 WBIM.
It's David Bowie. And 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday Night Soundtrack, Rolling Stones before that, heard from Billy Joel, Billy Idol, Jackson Browne all on that block, Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Hermertz just after 10, and that track off Diamond Dogs there's a connection to John Hurt on that, right, Steve?
Yes, there is. Yeah, that was, I'm actually reading about it here. It was from Diamond Dogs, and a lot of the songs on Diamond Dogs were written for a possible musical about the novel 1984 by George Orwell. And it was Orwell's wife that refused permission.
Oh, really?
Yes. But the connection with John Hurt is he played the lead role in the movie version of the book, 1984. And the book, by the way, right now is number 1 in the best-selling list.
So would he have been involved in the musical at all, do you think?
Who?
John Hurt.
No.
He's not a musical man.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know if they would have had him in there in some capacity.
In fact, I don't think John Hurt was ever in a musical.
Truthfully, I think the musical, I'd have to check on the movie date now, because I think the movie might have come out after he did the album. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's no real connection between him and Bowie. It's just the George Orwell connection. And these modern times that we live in connection to George Orwell's 1984.
What do you mean?
Exactly.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, it's funny because the book re-entered the bestsellers list at number 6 for a while, and then when that Conway silly bitch used that term abstract fact, or alternative fact, well, it's a name that she made up. Well, that's the thing about 1984. There's a language called Newspeak that the government made up to con the populace into believing what they were telling them. So there's a lot of good connections to this particular administration.
There's a whole bunch of people out there on Facebook and everything. I've seen a couple of comments already where people are like, well, what she was trying to say was she was trying to politely say that the media was being dishonest again. Are you really? Are you serious?
It's a photograph.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the media is that nowadays there's so many outlets of consuming news that it is hard to discern what is reputable and what is not.
Yeah, you got to put some effort into it.
Yeah, you got to put some effort in.
Right.
That's the problem with most people these days. They don't want to take the time to figure out if what they're reading is factual. They just want to take it on its face.
Right.
And like the whole thing going on that I've been told about at the office is that Canada that California is seceding. that they've succeeded in getting the 600,000 petitions, and that means that they're now leaving. But
I feel that's not the case.
That's not the case.
No.
There's probably,
for many reasons.
Yeah, there's a small sect of people in that state that are moving, like they want to secede from the government. But then again, over the decades of time, there's always been one state or like, there's always been someone that's like, oh, it's time to secede now. But like, it's plus after that, even if they were able to get the 600,000 votes that they need, petitions that they need, they still have to put it on the ballot for the next coming election.
Correct.
Which isn't until November. And then even after that, they still have to vote on it. And then after that, they have to start organizing all the stuff. So it's at least a 2-year process. So I doubt that the second largest state in our Soviet Union wants to secede. It's just not going to happen.
You know what Trump has succeeded in doing, though? Very
dividing the Americans.
Effing this country up.
Effing our show up. That's all we've talked about this time.
Oh, no, it's terrible.
It's not as fun as it used to be.
No, I know, it's a little dry.
Well, our show reflects life.
Yes.
Here we are.
Exactly.
But
Here we are.
But my point is that there's just so many outlets to get your news from.
Yes.
And it's something I was actually worried about.
And you've got to not just stick to one.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to bounce around. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I'll read both sides of the table.
Oh, me too.
You know, but like people
Just don't read the Onion and think you're getting real news.
Yeah.
And that'll be a step in the right direction for a lot of people. That'll be an awakening call for a lot of people. Actually,
it's been something I've been actually concerned about for years. That like this is where we're heading. Because the more and more news things that there is available everywhere, the more and more it's harder to discern exactly what's real. Like you might read 6 different stories on 6 different sites, and then you could read 18 different variations of that 6 different stories. It's insane.
See, this is what I like to do. I like to cross-reference BBC, the British viewpoint, with CNN.
Yeah.
Right.
And then NPR, and then I go to things like the Daily Mail, which is a really trashy
yes, it is.
British
Holy crap.
newspaper.
absolutely.
Yes.
I know that. I'm an American.
I was reading one thing on that thing. I'm like, oh, this seems like a legit. No, it's not. It just goes into like, oh, then they found aliens. I'm like,
I was with you. I was with you up until that point. How do you know they didn't, sir? Maybe over here it's all being covered up. How do you know?
Anyway,
I'm great on aliens. I'm the best on aliens. Believe me.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you all about the aliens.
So I'm just gonna jump the gun. I'm gonna like just bury the lead here. The thing I was gonna say to you earlier, and I said it to Steve, is like I now want it to be 6 months later, so we can see where we're at 6 months later after this whole situation. And I also sort of want something terrible to happen. only so this guy could be tested so that he'll have no option other than to respond to it presidentially.
Right.
Otherwise, all he's doing is just listening to what Steve Bannon has to say. You know, and that guy's not the guy to listen to. Anyway.
On the bright side of things, I was looking at this computer over here and realizing how easy it is to bring up YouTube on the thing. And then I was thinking about us leaving here and thinking to myself, well, is there a YouTube channel that I could potentially put on and then just put that on instead of the tick and just go home with maybe a good playlist from the Saturday Night Soundtrack? That would be hilarious, and yet I haven't convinced myself if I want to do it or not. I feel like I'll get myself in trouble.
So you would actually record something...
Well, I mean, we've got the YouTube up there.
Yeah.
And there's a playlist up there that we did for Thanksgiving that's got like 15 hours of show material. If I were to turn that on at 11 o'clock and just go home.
No, I was thinking you might just actually put on a whole show. Well, you can't do it on YouTube.
No, I can't do it on YouTube because you don't have the music and all that.
Yeah, that's true.
But I would be able to potentially pull up the playlist, and people could just listen to us talk all night long on WBIM. And I think that would just be hilarious. That might be an idea that I save for maybe near the end of the semester.
Or like when we've got the axe. When Donald Trump calls the dean, who's like, "You get those guys off the air."
I know about college radio. I'm the best on college radio. I can tell you. I can tell you about college radio. Believe me. Yeah. Believe me.
You want to know about struggle? I struggled. My dad gave me $1 million.
Yeah, right.
I had to survive.
Then I had to figure out where to put it. There wasn't enough room in my mattress, and my hands were too tiny to count it all. Boy, was I struggling back then. There's a whole bunch of ridiculousness going around, too, and this is the part that doesn't help either. A bunch of people saying that Trump or somebody from Trump's organization like photoshopped his hand in a picture with him and Obama. A bunch of crap. And apparently it turned out not to be true, and everyone was like, a couple of people I saw posted on Facebook, and they're like, I don't like Trump any more than you do, but reposting stuff like this is not helping matters.
No, it's not.
It's making us all look like morons.
Yes,
Please check your facts and stop it.
Yeah.
Did either of you read into the lip reading thing when Obama met Trump?
No, I didn't.
I didn't read it, but apparently the meeting between the four of them with the two ladies, they got a lip reader to look at it because they weren't close enough to be able to actually record the sound.
Was this a legitimate lip reading, or is it one of those things you see on the internet where it's like where it's meant to be a parody and it's a bad lip reading of blah blah blah?
It was meant to be the true lip reading and what they were actually saying to each other, but I didn't read it because I'm like, how do I know this is true?
Right, exactly. You know? Of course, now I get something to Google during this last Classic Rock block because now I'm kind of curious.
Serena Williams
is facing Selena Williams.
She just won the most titles ever.
Oh, really?
Open titles. 23 now. She beat her sister in the Australian.
Oh, she beat her sister.
She beat her sister with a stick.
That's a video I'd watch.
Yes.
Serena was Serena the one who was always the she must be with the titles.
Yeah,
she's the one that's always been the best one, right?
Yes, she has. Yeah.
I mean, not saying that Venus is any slouch, and I'm pretty sure if you got me on,
she had some medical issues though, didn't she?
What
about Usain Bolt? We haven't mentioned that tonight.
Okay,
what's going on with him?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, he lost one of his medals. He got it taken off him.
Why?
Because it was for the 4x100 relay, and one of the other members of the team was caught doping at the Olympics. So the whole team lost the medal.
Oh.
So he lost the medal because of some other a-hole. So he's now not a triple, which you understand what that means, yeah?
Yeah.
And he can never be, because he'll be a triple.
Yeah.
If he wins 3 at the next one.
Stupid.
So,
here's a fun fact. That guy's a Freemason.
Is he really?
Yes, he is.
Huh,
really?
Yep. I'm glad to call him brother.
He's a fast Freemason.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
He's a fast.
I mean, when your name's Bolt, you gotta just you know.
Yes, exactly.
You got something to live up to.
Changed his name legally for that one.
I don't think so.
Or was it like one of those
I think
things
that's
where
only
he's
people
a kid and your name is Bolt.
If I had changed my name being him, I'd have changed the U to an I. And then I could be an insane Bolt. Yeah.
And another big block of classic rock.
Here we go.
It's going to be the last one of the evening already. Tonight went by fast.
Yeah, it did.
I don't know what happened.
It did. Stupid. F is this, man.
Give us a call. Let us know if there's anything you want to hear
Someone's president.
in the last classic rock block of the evening. 508-531.
We got Sanders. This wouldn't happen.
1303. Bernie would have won. You got SNS on BIM.
Saturday nights and classic rock. They just go together like bacon and hot fudge sundaes.
Whatever.
Just trust us on this, okay? Bacon and hot fudge sundaes. Yum. The Saturday night soundtrack with Rob Hicks on 91.5 WBIM.
And 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. Saturday night soundtrack about ready to wrap it up for another week. Rob Hicks, Jared Barbetta, Steve Rimmer. I got to tell you, the carpet in here is so nice that when I was eating my payday earlier, I was trying to make sure not to get my nuts all over the carpet. I don't know if you noticed, but I went down under the console.
I was wondering what you were doing.
Yeah, I was picking up my nuts because I had a couple of stray nuts, and I don't want to leave my nuts on the floor.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
I don't want to be the guy that they come in and they come in and they're like, look at this. There's the remnants of Rob's nuts all over the floor. That's gross.
Yes.
We don't want to be dealing with that.
No.
I also picked up the remnants of some other stuff I found on the floor. It wasn't. I don't think it was somebody else's nuts, but I don't know what it was.
Hope
it was. It looked like it was crumbs of some sort from somebody else's food. Could have been my food. Could have been somebody else's. But I'm very paranoid about this carpet now because it's so nice.
You should bring a little hand vacuum with you.
And the thought crossed my mind.
Dirt devil.
And then I was like, well, you know what? I carry enough stuff with me to the show as it is. And now that I don't carry the radio with me anymore, it's, I've pared down. I don't need to expand out on the things that I carry with me again and continue doing that. So we'll be back next week from 7 to 11. The good thing is, I was thinking about it on the way. I panicked Jared just a little bit on the way in here because I was telling him about the whole. I was recapping the conversations that I had with Mike Holmes about the meeting and everything that happened. So they had the scheduling meeting this past Friday night, and apparently Mike Holmes and John Coombs actually went to it, even though they said that the alumni shows were going to be handled, after the meeting. Those guys still went. The
children.
Saturday Night Soundtrack, I mean, we're too important to go to the meeting. You know what I mean? I send associates to the meeting. And I let them tell me what happened after the fact, and I'm too big to go to these meetings. You know what I mean? I don't want to be involved. But they, the thing was that Mike had told me what had gone on with the shifts between himself and John and how it was going to be this year. And Mike was doing 3 to 5, and John was doing 5 to 7. And I, in the midst of everything, and he said, John will let you know if he can't make it, so that you can cover for him any day that he can't make it if that comes up and happens to be the case. And then, you can come on at 5. I said, okay, cool. And I told Jared on the way in here, I was like, at no point in that conversation was there ever actually a confirmation that we still have the 7 o'clock slot.
I know.
I was like, I assume that it was inferred by the fact that he said, if John doesn't make it in, then you can cover 5. Yeah. He didn't then follow it up with, but you're out of luck because some jabroni took 7 to 9 in the meeting, and now you're out of luck, and you don't have a show. So I said on the way in, I was like, I'm 99.9% sure that we're fine and that we have a show at 7 o'clock. But I haven't actually seen that on a schedule officially, and it hasn't been confirmed, so I don't really know.
We're here legally.
And Jared just kind of looked at me like he was like, now I'm a little concerned.
We're like illegal immigrants at this point.
Yep. You should ban us.
Yes,
you should just ban us from the country entirely.
Absolutely,
get us the hell out.
Yeah, maybe that's the goal. I'll gladly live in Southport.
I suppose. I suppose it very well could be. One last thing to mention before we get out of here, Steve.
Putin is the best.
Yeah, great. I know Jared doesn't really care, but obviously, Steve, you and I next week will be watching the Super Bowl.
Yes, we will.
And how do you feel going into it? What do you think's going to happen? Because I really feel like I know nothing about the Atlanta Falcons. Nothing.
Well, I watched the game before the New England game last week.
Right, which I did too.
Yeah. So that's about all I know about them.
Right, and which is difficult to tell from that just what was going to happen. But
that was a blowout.
Absolutely.
The other team didn't turn up. So.
Right, so it's kind of like, well, is that any kind of indication? Because I don't think throughout the entire season I've paid 1 minute of attention to the Atlanta Falcons. I know nothing about what they do. I don't know who's on their team. I know nothing about them. Literally nothing about them. I know a lot about all these other teams that we beat to get here, but
I just feel it's going to be a real tight, tough match.
I want it to be, and that's the thing is that I love tight, tough games, and
especially if Lady Gaga's involved.
Yeah, she's going to be doing the halftime show,
the solo halftime.
By herself. I want to see her do it by herself.
Definitely, absolutely.
Also,
I'd like to see her do it by herself.
Is there a video out there somewhere?
I don't know.
You want to Google this before next week, sir?
Yeah, sure.
So the other thing is the other thing that's going to be fun. Good tight game is good. Obviously the Patriots winning is good, but I just really want a good tight game no matter what.
Yep.
I want the Patriots to win, if not only because I'm a fan, but also because I want to see Roger Goodell have to begrudgingly hand them
exactly
the trophy, Lombardi Trophy, and be like, you're honored to give you. Is it the Lombardi Trophy?
Yes.
In the Super Bowl? Okay. Mm-hmm. I said that, and then I was like, wait, is that even right, or is that college?
No, you're right.
Have to hand that over to him and then be like, I'm honored to. Is he going to trail off? Is he going to say the word honored?
I don't know.
How's it going to go?
I know.
Everybody's going to, the Patriots people are probably going to boo and hiss and all that. It's going to be, there's just going to be an ugly scene no matter what.
Absolutely.
And if the Atlanta Falcons win, he's just going to hand it to them and be like, I'm really friggin' glad to give this to you. Yeah. You don't.
Sigh of relief.
You guys have absolutely no idea how pleased I am to hand this to you. Oh, thank God. 91.5 WBIM Bridgewater. We'll see you next week. We're going to leave you with Zeppelin. The song remains the same. It's Saturday Night Soundtrack. We'll see you next week. Bye.